howdy there, pipe pals and gals. Howdy, pipe pals and gals, and all persuasions in between. Let's just be really inclusive, okay? Okay. Well, how y'all doing? Hold on a second. I'm doing this for a special reason here. Usually when I make my videos, I'm kind of on my I'm kind of on the old off the clock kind of a thing, kind of like when you see a CHP car or something out of service kind of thing. Yeah, so anyway, welcome to my June video and what I'm smoking. I'm smoking my Joby, which I've had for probably 40 years. I'm old as dirt. And then I'm smoking some Sweet Tea. Again, a little gift from Matthew and Monica. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. You know I'm talking to you. Okay. Anyway, so it came as a little Boswell's gift pack. All sorts of goodies from Boswell. Hope you're all doing well. Got a little bit of coffee here with the Sweet Tea. I heard somebody talking about Greenville, South Carolina just the other day, and I forgot who was talking about Greenville. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Got my old boy here. It reminds me, this video, as I start out, I'm making it kind of during the daytime. As probably a lot of my videos I make at night. Excuse me. I make a lot of my videos in the early evening or even sometimes in the late evening. It's when I kind of get a chance to kind of just settle down and take a deep breath and kind of say, well, I think I'll make a video. And got almost all my steps in and went for a nice walk this afternoon. Roll a little B-roll of that, my walk today. And it is just absolutely gorgeous. That's double pretty. Spring is just leafing out all over, busting out all over. It's just a beautiful time to be up here in the mountains. Excuse me. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So, the reason why I'm getting on here to just make a video, make my June video. I noticed that last month, May, the merry month of May, I thought I had made a video early, like I kind of normally do. And I realized, like on the 25th of May, I didn't make anything. And I thought, better pull out the old camera and start recording there. And so I did, and I made a video about a week ago. And at this recording, I have not looked at comments because I just uploaded it and I put the laptop away. I have a special laptop for my two YouTube channels. So it's only because when I start combining content, my hard drives fill up way too fast. So and plus then it's a different account, so instead of getting things confused, for me, I just have one laptop for this channel and then my regular other homily channel. So Well, in fact, first of all, well, let me take a little bit of a break here. Hold on, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Just like I said, I just got back from my walk. You can really taste the sweetness in this sweet tea. And maybe next video, pipe pals and gals, I'll actually do a sweet tea pipe video with a sweet tea drink. Who knows? Excuse me. What happens is, this sounds a little weird, but a lot of times when I discovered this about 10 years ago. And that is, I know now some people are going to say that's not healthy. That's not a good way to look at it. And I'm going to just be upfront and say you're absolutely right. It's not a good way to look at it. But believe it or not, when I was doing my first time of losing a lot of weight, about 9 years ago, and I was doing a lot of intermittent fasting, and I'm doing that again now. A pipe and a cup of coffee was kind of like, I'm going to say it, it was like a meal substitute. I know some people don't want to hear that. And I know it's not healthy. I'm not trying to advocate, pipe smoking and coffee drinking, and is a way to do meal replacement. No, I'm not saying I'm advocating that. All I'm saying is that it is like that, because when I was doing the intermittent fasting, especially the very first time, boy, the one thing that would really pick me up and kind of get me over the hungries or the hangries or whatever was a pipe and a beautiful cup of coffee. And oh man, the reason why I'm telling you all that is because when I would actually go to that coffee or that pipe, I'm inhaling it. I'm like, I'm eating food. I'm getting nourishment, Crazy, I know. But that's the way I would come to it. It's like, and so I would just, and I don't normally inhale, and I still really don't. but it was sort of like, just that, got to get that sustenance, okay? Yeah. So there is that. So sometimes when I've been fasting and I am hungry and I'm tired and I'm just kind of sucking wind, boy. So again, most of you probably know I don't really smoke every day. I just don't. That's not a virtuous thing. It's not meant to be good or bad. It's just me. But I do enjoy my pipe when I make these videos, or if a special occasion arises and somebody, comes over, or there's a special thing to celebrate, like I'm going to talk about here in a minute, well then, yeah, I probably might say, I think I'll have a pipe right now, and enjoy it. But again, most of us know that pipe smoking, for the most part, for most of us at least, is something that it's more of it's a deliberate thing. It's something you kind of plan, at least I do. Maybe you're different. But I plan on this bowl, this particular bowl, I planned this out. It's sort of like, okay, I'm going to do this at this time, on this day, and for this reason, and there you go. And so it's not like I'm just mindlessly picking up a pipe and, lighting bowl after bowl after bowl. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you're one of those, if you're saying, hey, you're making fun of me, or you're judging me because I can't, maybe you're a little bit more, okay. There have been some people who are new to the pipe smoking hobby, but they honestly are trying to kick the nicotine habit. And so they maybe been chain smokers, cigarette smokers for decades. And so maybe the doctor says you need to start tapering off that nicotine and, give your lungs a little bit of a break. Maybe you might want to think about taking up a pipe. And we've had a few wonderful guys that have graced us on this channel from time to time, and they're coming from that perspective, that end of the spectrum. Okay, so I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just an enthusiast. I'm just an occasional pipe smoker. You know, I mean, I've never been a daily pipe smoker. There was a time, maybe 12 years ago, 11 years ago, when I was kind of getting into the channel and I was doing a lot more videos on a regular ongoing basis, and I was doing box openings and, you know, sharing my pipe collection at the time. I think everybody's seen most of my pipes now. It's kind of boring. So I don't really, you know, do that. And unfortunately, the pipe stores that I loved are out of business now. The Briar Patch, which was had 3 locations down in Sacramento, the owner sold the business and it folded. You know, in fact, sitting here in this kind of daylight reminds me of that time I went to their lounge at Loman Center and made a video. It was in the middle of the day. Again, something I normally don't do is smoke a pipe in the middle of my day because I've got people to see and I've got things to do. And so, you know, to take a deliberate break, which is probably not a bad thing actually, and smoke a pipe, and you know, then I'm perfumed with pipe tobacco aroma. You know, some people go, "Oh, you smoke," you know, and it's like, you know, then you got to go through all that. So that's probably one of the reasons why I do it at night, is because, you know, in the morning I'll go take a shower, and you know, no one's going to know. Not that I'm trying to hide anything. It's just that some people just have bad. Whether you are a priest or anybody nowadays, if you smoke, it's a political bozo no-no for some people. It's like, oh, I don't like you. You're a smoker, you know. And, you know, it's like, okay, you know, yeah, I'm a smoker. I'm an evil, bad person. Okay, fine, you know. But anyway, so anyway, that's why I'm making this video in the middle of the day. Actually, it's a little bit after 3. So I've been trying to, the last several months, walk every day. And I've just about got all my rings closed. This is kind of early. I normally don't get my rings closed until about 7 o'clock at night because I'm doing different things. And so today I just had a little bit of extra energy, and I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on making this video for you all, for you and you and you and you and you in the back there, yeah. So I said, okay, well, let's put some intentionality behind it and get my projects and my responsibility things done, and then we'll go and maybe make a video. So, and then also I don't eat anything until after around 3 o'clock. So I have 1 meal a day, and just trying to keep the weight down. It's really hard now. I mean, even though for the last 8 months I've been walking every day with the exception of 3 days. Sundays I don't walk. I don't do the whole rings, but I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I started out on a Monday and we were still having snowstorms and inclement weather, and I mean, I love that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. But anyway, I just, you know, I said, man, that wind's going right through me, and I was pretty sick, and I just said, you know what? Maybe I need to just take a break for a few days. And plus my back was all messed up again. Don't ask me why, I don't know. So anyway, long story short, actually too late for that. So I decided I was going to get on here and make a video. Now, just want to talk a little bit about my idea about Pride Month, okay? You know, I put my little rainbow thumbnail up there. Some of you might got surprised by that, but I think when I explain it, you're going to go, oh, okay, he's going to do it that way. Okay. So, you know, again, don't have any animosity towards people that, you know, are, you know, of that persuasion. I think that's a delicate way of saying it, diplomatic, respectful. Okay. Have nothing against you personally. Okay. The agenda of the LGBT, where they're forcing a lot of stuff. Now, not everybody that identifies as same-sex attracted is probably, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and some people just could care less. It's like, hey, I live my life, other people live their life, and it's like, hey, it's nothing to do with me. And it's like, okay, fine, you know. But it's the agenda that I really have a problem with. And so I was thinking the other day, I said, you know, the rainbow, the actual rainbow, we're going to talk about that in a minute, is a Christian symbol. It's a Christian symbol, folks. And it's been appropriated by the militant, I wanted to say that, militant LGBT types. But here's the interesting thing. Now I was listening to, is it Matt Walsh or somebody, Ben Shapiro. I kept thinking, what's that young guy's name again? Is it Ben Stein? No, Ben Shapiro. That's who it is. Anyway, one of those guys on the Daily Wire, they were talking about the new LGBT gay flag, and I've seen the newer one. And can I say something as a person who probably has a little bit of place to maybe have a little bit of expertise? Well, not expertise, but somebody who's been into heraldry. Okay, first of all, let me get a little big slug of my delicious coffee here. And this coffee is the I keep drawing blanks here. Hazelnut cream. That's right. It's a you have to grind your own beans, so it's probably a little bit better. Hazelnut cream. I've never seen it in bean form. And the other day I was just looking for a bag of coffee, and I said, well, maybe I'll try that. Big bag. I was looking for a big bag of coffee, and that caught my attention. I said, well, I got a grinder. A dear friend gave me a grinder, and I thought, well, why not use the grinder and make it a little bit more. It's quite delicious. Boy, it's got a lot of flavor in that. So I'm happy with getting the beans in that version. So anyway, getting back to the flag, I guess now it looks something, okay, it used to be, okay, first of all, they took the rainbow, a Christian symbol, Judeo-Christian symbol, symbolizing what? The covenant of God's love, okay? And how he preserved, life by, saving Noah and his family and some other righteous people in the ark, along with the mating animals, the animals, all the animals. So when they got to the new world, they could begin procreating again and bringing forth new life. Okay. So then they took the rainbow. I'll put my little picture here. I kind of like this. I was kind of proud of this one here. And, and again, signifying the ark and the animals and the new life and all that good stuff. Okay. But then they took our Christian symbol and they turned it into kind of just a flag. Okay. And I know some of you who may be a little more idealistic on the left than I am probably aren't going to like this, but it's kind of like, sorry to say this, it's kind of like what the Nazis did with the swastika. Because the swastika originally was a Chinese symbol that meant, I think, prosperity or good luck or good fortune. And the Nazis appropriated it, and now what do we have? Well, we have a very negative connotation of the swastika. And so what the militant folks in the LGBT did is they took the beautiful symbol of, of the rainbow, God's covenantal love and promises and everything, and turned it into a symbol, their symbol, loaded it with their meaning, okay? Which is not a really good meaning. I'm sorry. If you really, folks, can we be honest here? All you need to do is go to some of those pride parades, and that's all I need to say. Some of that stuff is just completely nasty, okay? I'm sorry. You can't, why would you take a child, let alone go yourself? I'm sorry. I know that there are people that are into that kind of stuff, but that's what that new symbol represents, and that's not wholesome. That's not good, okay? So, and again, here's the other thing I was thinking of. Okay, so now the new pride flag or gay flag or LGBT flag or transgendered rights flag, whatever it's being called, is this new thing. And I mean, it's just bizarre. And, going back to heraldry, the symbols really need to have, some clarity to them. They need to speak in simple terms what this movement is all about. And so you stop and you think about it and you go, okay, well, if you take all the colors of the rainbow and you mix them all together, guess which color you come out with? That's right, black. Black. And I started thinking, well, maybe the new real symbol should be, because if you're going to combine all the colors, so you get yourself a black flag, And then you put maybe the symbol that maybe probably best describes what it's really all about. And this is what I came up with. Yeah, okay? So, hope I don't offend too many people out there, but I just want you to think about it. Okay, just think about this is kind of really what's being promoted in the long run. That's all I want to say. Okay, so if you made it this far, thank you. And if you want to leave a comment, please feel free. If it's pretty distasteful and vulgar, I probably won't respond. But if you have something to say legitimately and respectfully, we can probably have that conversation. So anyway, that's the first topic. Second topic is, reason why I put the old collar on, is believe it or not, this month, I don't even know how this happened. There's just so much water under the bridge. But this month, actually, in a few days, the old Padre, that's yours truly, old Holy Smoke and Pipe Padre, will be celebrating 30 years as a Padre. 30 years, folks. And if you told me, say, 37 years ago, when I first kind of started down this journey for reals, for cereal, I probably would have kind of thought that's a long time. And it is a long time. And I remember somebody actually did say this to me, but it kind of, even though it did register, I never gave it a lot of thought. But this person was saying, when I had just become a Catholic, I was a school teacher, and I really was going to go to the seminary. It was like, okay, yeah. I mean, getting accepted to the cemetery. That's the next thing we do, right? Go from seminary to cemetery, yeah. But I remember when I finally got accepted. Again, I won't go through the whole horror story of that process. It was brutal. It was ugly, but it was probably a very good foreshadowing of those 5 years, which were ugly and brutal and pretty disgusting. And a lot of it had to do, sorry, it sounds like I'm probably a broken record here. It had a lot of it to do with the LGBT movement in the seminary. It was starting there, and it just was very divisive, very ugly. And that's all I need to say about that. Sad. It was very sad. Didn't need to be that way, but it was pretty ugly. But anyway, but before I got to the seminary and discovered all these other things that were very problematic, a parishioner, a friend, a dear friend, unfortunately we kind of fell out a couple years later, sadly, but that's neither here nor there. They said to me, this is going to be an interesting journey because this is going to be the rest of your life. And you could actually be ordained 30 years. And at the time, it made a subtle impression, and obviously it made an indelible impression, but it was sort of like, yeah, right, But here we are. Well, if I make it in a few more days. So, so I made a video, maybe about 5 years ago. Maybe it was a little bit, now that I think about it, I think I was just talking about being a Padre, because a few people had asked me about what is it like being a Padre. And I'd had maybe 22 years at the time. I think that was about right. And because I didn't celebrate my 25th until I left Elk Grove, which was what I got to say, all my assignments have been really good assignments. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that they were all easy. And I was living in the tall cotton, living on easy street, no. But there was a lot of good things that happened in many, or not many, all my assignments. All my assignments, I have been in the military. My first two assignments, first three assignments, I should say, were in a parish as the number 2 padre. So I wasn't really in charge of anything. And then I got permission to be an army chaplain, and I loved that. Got a chance to go to Europe and by the way, at Bosnia first, it's like, okay. So I did a year downrange, which was, as I just turned 40, and I'd lost a lot of weight to get back on active duty. I was, I know that I have to be very careful with my health and my weight because I gain weight really fast. I'm very carbohydrate sensitive, and that's why I just kind of have gotten rid of the sugar and the carbohydrates and doing mostly a kind of a carnivore diet, a little bit of salad every now and then. I still like my salad, but not as much as I used to. But I gained a lot of weight in my first few years as a padre, and then when I finally got permission to reapply and go back in the military as a chaplain, I spent about 6 months, slavishly, working it all off again. So it kind of seems like I've done this many times, put it on, take it off. And so in this right now, I'm doing the taking it off period, so which is a good thing. But anyway, I went into the military as a chaplain. It was one of my dreams that I've always wanted to do. I got a chance to do that in addition to seeing a different part of the world and actually living there for several years instead of just, going for a couple of weeks and then coming home, but really getting involved in the local culture, trying to learn the language, I remember getting a little bit of when I was in Germany, and I don't know if I can still do it, but I would go through the McDonald's drive-thru the first time, and I thought, I'm going to be able to order auf Deutsch, and ich möchte 2 Big Mac und ein große Pommes frites mit einer große Cola. And this person came back in a beautiful German accent and flawless English and says, "Oh, you want a Big Mac? Two Big Macs and a large fry and a large Coke?" And I went, "Yes, please." So anyway, but living, in another country, even Bosnia was kind of like that. We were still in a military camp, but you heard the Muslim call to prayer, 4 or 5 times a day, and Allah, and all that stuff. And it was kind of interesting, and I didn't have a problem, and in fact, I kind of thought, wouldn't it be wonderful? I know some people are going to cringe when I say this. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a Christian, structure where, Christians were being reminded of being called to prayer, because we actually do the Liturgy of the Hours, so we kind of the same thing, and there's similarities, not the same thing. Sorry, you ecumenicalists, I'm sorry about that. And some of you other Catholic traditionalists, you're probably like, no, it's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. But I mean, it's similar, very similar. So, but again, a call to prayer is a call to prayer, and that is in and of itself a good thing. But who do you pray to is obviously that's the thorny issue. Okay, so much for my ecumenical diatribe there. But it wasn't a bad thing, getting exposed to different people, different cultures. I even had a Bosnia gal who was kind of, I know it sounds funny now, but kind of, flirting with me, kind of like, hey, you want to stay in Bosnia? we have nice families here in Bosnia. And I went, well, that sounds nice, She wasn't bad looking. I mean, she was a little bit older, but, hey, I was old too, I'll never forget that. I thought it was kind of cute. I go, is she actually, flirting with me? I guess she didn't understand about Catholic priests, but anyway. It was in the laundry. But nothing happened. It was all let's keep it clean, folks. But anyway, it was just kind of funny. But I mean, you got to meet different people, and not only different people from different different cultures and different countries, but even the cross section of America. That's always what I've always loved about the military, is you got to meet guys from the South. You got to meet guys from, some of the places like. I'm just getting sidetracked here. I've got something in the background I'm hearing and it's bugging me. But guys that were from like Guam or the Philippines or something like that, and they're Americans, but they're obviously a different culture, and so you met people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds. It was just a rich environment, and that's one of the things I just really, really loved. And one of the things, especially when you are involved in a downrange operation. Now, Bosnia wasn't really a combat scenario; it was a peacekeeping scenario. So but there were a couple of times there honestly were a couple of times where we almost got our clocks punched. Fortunately, we were my driver and I, we were coming back from saying mass at one of the base camps, and we kind of started getting a little lax, and that was my fault. And this guy, he was even though he was an NCO, he was just a different guy, but a nice guy, good guy, hardworking guy. But we got separated from our convoy, and on the way back, this angry guy, drives up next to us, and then he runs us off the road, and he gets out, and he's reaching for a gun, and I guess he was going to shoot us, and we didn't have an up-armored Humvee. We had the cloth Humvee. We probably would have been dead. And all of a sudden, as he's reaching in to get the gun and start shooting, and me and my driver are like, uh-oh, we just really screwed up big time. And the guy's walking towards our Humvee, and then all of a sudden, he gets this big wide-eyed look. And what had happened was, again, our convoy got separated out, and so we were in the third vehicle, and the fourth vehicle always had a machine gun up front in the first, and a machine gun up back, Ma Deuce. And so I guess when he saw Ma Deuce coming up on that other Humvee, he thought, you know what, it ain't worth it. I could plug these two guys, but they're gonna waste me. So he had a moment of pause. Thank you, Lord. Good guys with guns. That's all I'm going to say about that issue. Saved my life again. That's like the second time in my life where good guys with a gun didn't have to do anything. They just rolled up when we needed them, and they gave that other person a moment of pause, and they put the gun back in their whatever it was, and they got back in their car and they drove away. So thank you, Lord. But anyway, by being in the military is just it was a wonderful experience, just absolutely wonderful experience. But again, and that was, came back home, and then I got, in fact, that's where I first discovered this parish when I got back home from the military. My bishop at the time put me that summer, starting from May till September, put me in on the road filling in for vacationing priest, and the priest that was here was an Irish priest, and so he went away for like 3 weeks, and so I filled in for him here, and it was great. And that's where I kind of first fell in love with this place, and I said, wow, this would be a wonderful place to come. And never in my wildest dreams thought I was going to get a place like this. And well, God had other plans. Okay, so I'm here. And all my other parishes have always been good assignments. I've had every single assignment has been wonderful. And I know that might sound like I'm blowing smoke, blowing smoke up your, what. Well, I'm not. I wish I could say that. I was telling somebody today that I said, my dad was a salesman, but I never did learn how to do that because I just can't lie. It's like, I'm not a good liar. It doesn't mean that there weren't challenges and problems and difficulties and hardships and making mistakes and all that stuff. I mean, no, it doesn't mean that at all. But it means that, wherever I was led, I was able to discover good things, whether it was the parish, the people, even in my own personal life, my spiritual life, whatever. There was always some positive thing that I could take with me and say that was a good experience. And I still feel that way. And I hope I'll always feel that way. Delicious. So, no. Hold on a second. What was I looking for? What was I looking for? I was looking for something, but now I can't find it. Oh well. So anyway, that's all I guess I have to say for this video. I hope you got something out of it. It's always a joy when I get a chance to make a video and I have the energy to do it. You know, I was thinking about a lot of these people that are on YouTube now. And I was listening to one of the guys that I listen to quite a lot. He's a tech guy. I mostly Catholic videos, tech videos, documentary videos, crime videos. Don't ask me why. Some of those things are very intriguing in a very macabre way. I know that might sound a little weird that somebody would be interested in those kinds of darker things, but sometimes they're just, you know, they're fascinating. You know, they kind of appeal to that prurient side of us that are kind of intrigued by those macabre things. You know, it's like, ooh. But anyway, but I was watching a lot of these guys now, guys and gals. They, a lot of them, I feel bad. I kind of feel sorry for some of them because they have to make a video every day now because that's their job. And this one young guy who does a lot of tech stuff, and I like a lot of things that he has to say. He's very knowledgeable and he's very entertaining, and he's trying to expand, you know, his channel and make it a little bit more, as well as interesting but entertaining, and I guess he's maybe gotten a little bit of kickback because he's trying to be a little more creative, and he's very creative. And he's doing little skits, little animation things with, you know, and I mean, I think he's pretty talented. You know, he's pretty good, but apparently, some people have complained about, well, why are you doing that? That's corny. We don't want that. We just want information, you know, and we want tech information. And he's pointing out that a lot of us kind of saturated with a lot of this stuff. I mean, you know, hey, iPhone's an iPhone. You know, every year they're going to update it a little bit, and that's basically it until they do something revolutionary. You know, which the revolutionary thing is what scares me, is because instead of it being a physical thing that you carry around with you, they might want to stick it in your head. That's going to be going way too far for this old guy. But anyway, he was talking about, you know, that he's trying to keep his channel relevant and interesting. And so, you know, and he's been trying new things. And like I said, some of the things that he does, they're very entertaining and they're very informative at the same time. But apparently he's like trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to make this thing my job, and it is his job, and but he's realizing I got to put out a video every day. And he's putting out videos that are more long. You think my videos are long. Some of his videos run 90 minutes at least. I don't know how you can talk about an iPhone for 90 minutes. Ooh. You know, so anyway, but a lot of these people are, you know, the ones that are really the more the professional end of YouTube. They realize that they've got to produce something every day, and I know that just to make this video, it's going to cost me probably 3 hours, probably about an hour. Let's see, it's almost 40 minutes in now. 40 minutes now. Okay, so yeah, so by the time I finally, you know, land the airplane here in touchdown and put it in the, you know, parking area in the hangar deck or whatever, it'll probably be close to about maybe an hour-ish. This will probably, I'm going to cut this one short a little bit. But the thing is that now I'm going to go back and now I've got to produce, I've got to edit the video. And that takes probably another hour or 90 minutes because I want to maybe put different, you know, graphics and pictures or maybe little fun things that I do from time to time to make the video a little bit more interesting, you know, and that takes time. Then the actual, you know, rendering of the video, that'll take it probably another 15 minutes at least. And then uploading it, that's another, depending upon, you know, the speed of the internet, that can be several hours. So, you know, it's not like something, I was thinking about trying to do the live stream thing because then the live stream kind of, I mean, you just do it in one shot and then it gets uploaded. Now you can't do any special effects, or you can't do any real, you know, good titles or anything like that, or music or things like that I would normally do to make the videos a little more professional and polished. But yeah, it's a labor of love, and I, like I said, when I have time to do it, it's fun to do, and it's, you know, it's kind of an avocation for me. I do this on my homily videos. Of course, those are significantly a lot shorter, but at the same time, they take a lot of time to again produce and then upload and that sort of thing. So anyway. But imagining having to do this every day, and again, you're spending hours just producing one video. And some of these guys, they have several different similar channels where they'll talk about this one guy I was telling you about. He does mostly, you know, does a lot of Apple tech, but now he's also getting into the EV spectrum, where, you know, I guess that seems to be a big hit or a big interest. You know, the electric vehicle thing now, that seems to be taking off. And so, you know, again, there's a lot of interest in that topic. So, you know, he said that his EV channel is really, you know, getting more subscribers and more views than the tech channel, because he says, you know, essentially most of us are kind of burned out on tech. You know, it's like you can't get excited about really a new iPhone because it's the same thing except maybe a little bit of a spec bump, you know, better battery, maybe better cameras, maybe more storage, but that's about it, you know. So anyway, that's kind of where that's at. So when I make a video, I do enjoy making videos. I still enjoy it, but I do realize that there's a time commitment, you know, and it's not just like a half an hour. You know, yeah, you're watching a 40-minute, 45-minute video, but the thing is that it's actually taking probably about 3 hours to produce and then upload this, at least. So that's a significant time commitment. So yeah, and a lot of it I can do. Yeah, I can, you know, start the process and start the rendering when I'm all done doing the editing, and then I do the rendering, and then I do the uploading. So, you know, depending upon what I want to do in editing, what kind of special effects and ideas and things I want to highlight, that could take maybe 2 hours, you know, depending on what I want to say and how I want to do some special stuff, you know. But if you just did it just straight video, no post-production stuff, it's still going to take you at least probably 2 to 3 hours. Thought I saw somebody out there. Okay, well, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one, maybe real soon. Okay, well, remember, light up your world and light up your pipe, and have a great evening.